All right, guys, that's one of the best drills in golf. And today we're going to talk about exactly why that is. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you. We're going to learn an awful lot about golf. This is a great journey. Enjoying YouTube. And as I say, I really appreciate it. So let's get started. So why is this drill so good? Well, one reason and one reason only. It helps you keep your pelvis in its depth. Okay, it helps you keep your hips behind you. Obviously, if I'm taking a step backwards, I'm moving my weight towards my heels. Okay, I take that step, I'm working back towards my lead heel, my left heel as a right-handed golfer. When so many golfers are moving their pelvis out towards the golf ball, you do that, of course, you lose your spine angle. You lose your spine angle, you're going to have all sorts of misses and early releases and fat shots and thin shots. Boy, it is a plethora, a whole kaleidoscope of misses from this one area. So keeping your pelvis in its depth, incredibly important. That's what the focus of today's lesson is going to be all about. I'm going to give you some wonderful drills that you can work on that are simple first and foremost. It's not about impressing you. All right, if I wanted to do that, I'd make it complicated. It's about making it simple. And the more simple we can make this, the easier it's going to be to apply it where it really counts, which is out on the golf course. It's very difficult to transfer these skills to the golf course. Okay, so keeping the pelvis in its depth. Okay, we're going to head to the wall. All right, guys, welcome to the wall. It sounds like a medieval torture device, but for golfers, this is pure gold, okay? We've all got access to one of these at home in our living room. I'm going to teach you how to use it, okay? Very important to understand here. There are a lot of bends in the golf swing. We've got some knee bend. We've got bend from the hips. We've got right side bend. Gosh, we're bending out of the wazoo. So we've got to make sure that we stay focused on this one area, which is pitch today. That's the bend forward from your hips. That's what I really want to focus on. So what do we do here? When we set out to a golf ball, we have bend forward from our hips, maybe 30, 40 degrees, depending on what club we have. But ultimately, if I go ahead and demonstrate this, if I stand straight up right here, my back's to the wall, and I rotate around my spine, you can see I'm just going to point the club directly at the wall. So I'm parallel to the ground, so I'm maintaining my spine angle, right? As I rotate towards the camera, I can go ahead and load my lead leg here. I can lift my right foot off the ground. That's a good place to start, I'll be quite honest with you. So, just to feel some rotation in your golf swing, just put a club across your shoulders. You do this in your living room. You're maybe a couple feet away from the wall here. And all you want to do here is just turn around your spine and point the club at the wall, okay? So we're rotating level with our spine angle here. Obviously, if I did the same thing, and my left shoulder dropped, I'll be pointing it down towards the ground. Conversely, if I'm upright and I go ahead and add some too much right side bend, it's going to point way up at the sky. So that's not what we're looking for. So here we go. Whoom, done. That's easy, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch myself forward a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and bend forward. Don't sit back on your heels. I see a lot of people get into a pretty good posture, and then they start bending their knees a lot. And again, you can see if I bend my knees, my hips get too far behind my heels. That causes all sorts of problems. I see dreadful postures out there. If you bend your knees too much and your hips get too far behind your heels, the club's going to gravitate towards your heels. Too much around your body, guys, is going to cause all sorts of issues with your swing plane. So we always want to get our hips kind of above our ankles here. Nice balanced setup. So I'm just going to go ahead and back into the wall. That's a lot different to sitting on the wall, okay? And here we are. So now I've got maybe 30 degrees, 40 degrees of bend forward from my hips. You'll notice here, if I maintain my spine angle, I'm going to keep my head pretty quiet here, and I'm going to start to feel like I'm pushing or kicking the ground with my left heel, okay? I'm pushing down and back into the ground with my left heel. You can see here, if I keep my head still, all right, the butt end of the golf club is working up, okay? It's not working around, it's working up. I'm maintaining my posture. I'm not changing the position here as I swing through. If I move my pelvis away from the wall, you're going to see my shoulders get way too flat. And that's what I see with most golfers. Of course, if I do that from this angle, if I bring my pelvis towards the wall too early, you can see that right shoulder gets too high. And that's where most people are coming too far over the top of the golf ball. So very, very important to get this butt end of the club missing the wall. That's all we really want. Bending forward from the hips, miss the wall. Bend forward from the hips, miss the wall. So if you draw a line behind my head, and obviously I've got the line up against the wall here. I'm going to maintain contact with those two lines long enough to pretty much swing through to parallel or just under parallel to the ground, okay, with my golf club. At this point here, I'm going to start to move off the wall. I can start to straighten my spine angle. So people ask, well, when do you come out of the shot? Most people are coming out of the shot literally as they start their downswing, okay? And when you've got that kind of inertia, that kind of momentum, unfortunately, when you start doing this, it's going to continue to impact. You're never coming out of the shot at impact, okay? You're normally coming out of it as you start your downswing. So we can do the opposite. We can actually move towards the wall this way. And you see, if I go ahead and get the butt end of the club on the trail side now and go ahead and make a turn, what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to sort of move into impact, feel like I'm crushing a bug underneath my left heel is a great thought process for you. Keep the head against the wall. And you can see here, as I swing through, I'm not driving into the wall here, okay? I'm not bringing the butt end of the club forward. I'm working actually down and under as I come into impact. So it's starting to look like it's taking shape, isn't it? If I put the club in my hands here, things are starting to look pretty good as I'm approaching impact. And that's really what I'm looking to help you with is, again, maintaining the depth in your pelvis. Feel like you've got more pressure through your lead heel. And again, use a wall to your advantage. Start this way, then go ahead and switch the club and face the wall and do exactly the same thing. Driving out towards the wall here is going to be a serious problem. We're going to hit a couple balls with those same feels. That's the wall. So all you're going to do is set up to the first golf ball. You have 4 balls lined up. You're going to straddle the golf balls, start with the first ball. And as you take the club back here with the first one, it's just kind of a regular shot. So we're only going to swing sort of to waist high back and through here, okay? But notice my butt's remaining behind me. Again, I'm still feeling like I'm staying up against the wall. You'll notice my head stayed very quiet there at the same time. Now, the beauty of obviously stepping backwards is that we're moving always back towards the wall that's behind us. So that image is going to be one that I want you to really bury into your subconscious when you're playing golf. Incredibly important. So if I go ahead and hit these 3 in a row, that's all I'm really focused on. I'm trying to imagine as I'm doing this, I'm backing into that wall. I'm squishing a bug underneath my lead heel. And again, there's no excessive early extension with my body. I'm not moving my pelvis towards the golf ball. I'm keeping it away, providing a lot of room for my arms. So I'm just going to hit 3 in a row here. And again, it's okay to exaggerate it. You know, all by now I know the importance of exaggerating feels. But I'll do 3 in a row here. And you can see here, I'm not finishing my swing. I'm only finishing really, as I'd mentioned, parallel to the ground, and I'm maintaining this pitch forward. And at that point, we can go ahead and straighten up our body and finish our golf swing. So you only need to stay in your depth long enough to get that club to about parallel before you start to straighten your body. So I hope that helps. Work on the drills. Get on the wall, okay? Very important to start with that. Work on the reverse step drill and use tees. In fact, what I would do is I would start off with tees and no golf ball just to get started. Start off with the first one. Again, we're only really swinging waist high to waist high. We're not going to get the club swinging above our head, okay? And then just work your way backwards. And you can see as I'm taking that step back, I'm driving back towards my lead heel. Keeps me in my forward bend here towards the golf ball. So I hope that helps you stay in your posture, guys. Clears up any confusion you may have in terms of staying down. This is a dynamic motion, okay? But we need to do it, and we need to have some stillness at the same time. It's that oxymoron. We want to stay dynamic, but we want to stay still, and that's what the best players in the world do. Get to work and have fun with it, okay?